Hello friends, I Dr. Heena Dalal, Assistant Professor in Economics from Vanita Vishram Women's College of Commerce, Surat. Today we are going to discuss the role of industrialization in a developing economy. And after the role, we will discuss the effects, that is, positive effects of industrialization and the negative effects of industrialization on the economy. So first, let us discuss the role of industrialization in the economy. Industrialization plays a very important role in the economic development of the country. The history also reveals that all the developed nations of the world broke the vicious circle of underdevelopment by industrialization. Yes, so we can see that how important industrialization is for the growth and development of any economy. Now, after the policies of privatization, deregularization, liberalization, there has been a lot of development in the economies of the world. The world has become one. Yes? So now we will see this role. It is summed up as under the first point, increase in national income. Industrialization makes possible for the optimum utilization of the resources of any country. Now, optimum utilization of resources will lead to increase the quantity of the products as well as it will also help in improving the quality. So this improvement in the quality and increase in the quantity of the manufactured goods will thereby contribute to a larger extent to the gross domestic product. And ultimately, it will help in increasing the GNP. So, this will lead to increase in the national income. The next point is increasing the standard of living. Now, industrialization helps in improving the productivity of the labor, correct? So, the value of output per worker will also increase. So, this will lead to income increase of the laborers because of the improved productivity. And this will help in raising the standard of living of the people. Now, this is not a one day's job, it takes time. Yes, but it does help in improving the standard of living of the people. The next is the industrialization leads to economic stability of the country. It is the best way to bring an economic stability because any nation which depends upon the production and the exports of raw materials cannot achieve a rapid growth rate in the economy, right? Because it is affected by the uncertainties of nature. And of course, there are some restrictions and fluctuations in the demand of the agriculture and raw materials, which hampers the progress. And that leads to unstable economy. So, alone reliance on the agricultural products or raw materials may not lead to economic growth and progress of the country. So, industrialization is a must which brings the economic stability of any nation. The next point is it helps in improving the balance of payments. So, industrialization brings a structural change in the pattern of foreign trade. It will help in increasing the export of the manufactured goods. Now, increasing the exports of manufactured goods will lead to increase in earnings of the foreign exchange. And at the same time, processing of the raw materials at home means within the country will curtail the imports. And thereby, that will also help in conserving the foreign exchange. So, export orientation policy and import substitution. That will lead to the growth of the nation and ultimately it will help in improving the balance of payments. The next one is It will stimulate the progress of the other sectors of the economy. See, development of one industry will lead to development and expansion of the other industry. I have given 2 to 3 examples. Yes, transistor radio plant construction. Okay, now for this, small battery is needed. So we need a small battery industry. Now, small battery industry is a backward linkage, and the production of the transistor radio is a forward linkage. Correct? So, if the transistor radio industry develops, that will lead to a demand for small batteries. So, that will again lead to the development of the small battery industry. Same way, milk processing plants will lead to increase in the production of ice creams. Yeah, Surat is a hub of textile industry. Correct? So, weaving, processing, finishing, done. Weaving, okay, the cloth will be woven, then it will be sent to the factories for dyeing, printing. Yes, that is processing, and then it will be sold in the market. Correct? So, forward linkage and backward linkage. So, all the industries which are linked with each other are very much important and very much necessary for the progress. The next point is industrialization leads to increase in the employment opportunities. Yeah. Now, employment increases with the development of small industries as well as the large industries. Because what happens in the agrarian economy, we have always seen a form of disguised unemployment. Yes, they will contribute zero to the output. The output doesn't increase even if the number of agricultural laborers are increased, right? So that leads to underemployment as well as unemployment because the entire workforce is not absorbed. Yes, industrialization leads to absorption of this underemployed and unemployed workforce, which will increase the income of the community. The next one is industrialization promotes the specialization of labor because there is a division of work under industrialization, which will increase the marginal value product of the labor. Now, marginal product value increases, the income will also increase, right? So, income increases, right, because of specialization. And specialization is possible because of industrialization. Then, industrialization also helps in increasing the agricultural production because the use of machinery, that is, tractors, threshers, harvesters, and many more, are used in the farm sector. So, increased use of modern implements will, give the crops yield increase. That is, the yield of the crops per hectare will also increase. So ultimately, again, the increase in the income of the farmers, correct, because of the increase in the agricultural production, will boost up the economic development of the country. Then industrial activities are much easy to control compared to the agricultural activities. The industrial production can be expanded or can be reduced, that is cut down, depending on the demand and cost of the products. That is not much possible in the agricultural sector. Then the industrial sector provides a large scope for technological progress because there is an on job training, and with the change of time, there is also upgradation of the technology. Now, use of upgraded technology, then giving training to the workers will increase the scale of production, and on the other side, it will reduce the cost of production and further will improve the quality of the products. And this will help in widening the market. The next one is reduction in the rate of population growth. Because of industrialization, there is a migration of the workforce from the rural areas to the urban areas. Now, because of migration and because of the provision of improved facilities of sanitation, health in the urban areas, people will try to adopt the family planning measures to certain extent. That will also help in reducing the rate of population growth. The next point is increased savings and investment. As we discussed in the earlier points, that due to industrialization, the income of the workers will increase. So their capacity to save will also increase, improve to certain extent. This savings will further lead to investments, right? So this cumulative effect will further lead to expansion of industries. Then, if any country is industrialized, then it can also manufacture arms and ammunitions within the country which are necessary for the safety and security, right? So it is very much necessary for any country not to depend on other countries and become self-reliant in case of arms and ammunition. The next one is lesser pressure on the land. Establishment, expansion of industrialization will lessen down the excessive pressure on the land, which is due to the agricultural sector. Then, with the development of industries, the markets for the raw materials as well as the finished products will also increase. The last point and the most important point, that industrialization will increase the supply of goods in the local markets as well as in the external markets. Because of exports of goods, the export earnings would increase, and because of the industrialization, the local markets would develop. There would be more demand for the products because the quality is improved, right? So it will be sold in bulk or in huge quantities. That will lead to increase in income of the industrialists. This increase in income of the industrialists will lead to generate more revenue to the government because these industrialists will pay income tax to the government. So the source of revenue, which is the most important source, income tax, of course. So income tax revenues will also increase. So government will use these revenues ultimately for the welfare of the people in the society as a whole. So this is what we saw, the role of industrialization in a country and of course for any economy. Now we will see the positive effects and the negative effects. The first point is significant growth rate. Since the planning period, there has been a lot of focus on industrialization and a positive growth rate has been observed from 1950s to 2015-17. On an average before planning period, the growth rate used to remain at almost 2%, but now after the planning period, that is after 1950s, it has remained somewhat between 6 to 7%, which is quite noteworthy. The next one is there has also been the increase in the share of the national income. As we saw, the role of industrialization, that because of industrialization, the consumer goods, the capital goods have developed. Yes, their share, their contribution in the national income has increased. There is a relative decline in the share of agriculture in the national income and relative increase of the share of industries in the national income. There has also been an expansion of the public sector. Yes, public sector plays a very important role. Development of infrastructure, development of roadways, railways, bridges. Yes, So more and more industries had been developed under public sector. But after the reforms of 1991, the role of public sector has reduced and the role of private sector has increased. We have also been able to achieve self-reliance. I gave you all the example of arms and ammunitions. Then we have also indulged in exports of many items in which before the industrialization, we were too much dependent upon other countries. There has been an expansion of the research and development. Yes, research and development centers have also expanded, increased in number because of industrialization. More and more training centers have been set up. The skills have been upgraded. There has been a society which is developed where there are, quite efficient managers. So we have got a new set of skills in the society because of industrialization. Then the industrial base has also got strengthened. That is development of the capital goods industries and the basic and key industries. Modernization, yes. Along with urbanization, there has also been modernization, that is, use of modern methods, then the technology upgradation, all has led to modernization. And this is possible because of industrialization. As we saw in the role that rural India development is ahead of the urban India. There has been a migration, shift of the people from rural areas to the urban areas. They have started adopting, the way of living of the people like urban areas. The ample employment opportunities have increased. People have migrated from the rural areas to the urban areas in the search of jobs. Many industries have been set up in the outskirts of the cities so that small townships can get developed, infrastructure can be developed. That will ultimately lead to the development of the rural areas. Just as the coin has two sides, yeah? So we saw the positive features. Now we will discuss a few negative features of industrialization. First one, structural retrogression in the industrial sector. So there has been no proper structural, distribution of the industrial sector. Yes, that sector is somewhat unequal, which has negatively affected the industrialization. Then the power, there has been a concentration of economic power, okay, monopoly in the hands of large industrial houses. So these large industrial houses have expanded to a greater extent. Then there has been a very little impact on the employment and no proper distribution of the workforce sector wise. The public sector performances have also been reported as very, very poor. Yes, there has been underutilization of the resources under the public sector. Yes, the capacity utilized is not 100%. The resources are not optimally utilized. There has been industrial sickness, means many industries have suffered losses and they are declared as sick units. There has also been regional imbalances. A few states of India have developed to a greater extent and the few states are hardly developed. Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka have, got too many benefits of industrialization. And few poor states, the Bimaru states, are not well developed. Environmental cost due to industrialization. Yes, because of industrialization, a heavy cost has to be paid to the environment. That is, it has led to air pollution, water pollution, the diseases, the harmful diseases have increased, right? And our species are getting extinct, correct? So we are paying heavy cost for industrialization and elite-oriented consumption. So the focus has been done on the manufacturing of those goods, those commodities which are demanded by the elite-oriented class of the society. So there has been a shift from essential to non-essential items. But still, in spite of so many negative features, we have been able to achieve a lot of progress, and of course our economy has been able to grow to a greater extent due to industrialization. That is all for today. So thank you.